topic given is the water scarcity and low water use efficiency. In this presentation, I will be first describing the existing water resources and then focusing to the India level water availability, and then what are the different challenges and opportunities we have in front of us. So I start with the definition of the water scarcity and then what type of water scarcity or we have it. So water scarcity is defined in the three ways: physical water scarcity, economic water scarcity, and institutional water scarcity. Physical water scarcity means like in fact there is no water available, like a situation like Rajasthan in Jaisalmer where 300 millimeter water is there and then demand is huge. Water scarcity, economic water scarcity is the situation when water is available but there is a infrastructure is not there. So for example, a farmer who has the groundwater level but he does not have the pump, he or she does not have the pump. Or a situation like if we look at the Africa case that where is a huge water is there but the money is not there. So that is what like we can say the economic water scarcity. Third one is the institutional water scarcity. Rights are not defined or clear. So it means like water is there, infrastructure was created, but even though farmers are or like stakeholders are having deficiency of getting it because of their rights. Look at this picture. Actually, the farmers in Andhra Pradesh was looking or putting a agitation because of they did not get water in their canals. So these kind of things, and in fact, if we look at the command area itself, we see that the tail end farmers are not getting water because of their because upstream farmers utilize water more. This picture shows it shows the current and future water demand in India. Bar shows the current water use and then line shows the total availability. So this is the India total water availability is 70% threshold of water resources, and then we can see that recently we have almost harvested or we are reaching to the threshold. And if our current water use efficiency is same as in future, then we will having the physical water scarcity, and then we have a chronic water shortage actually in future. And then other than that, there is also increasing demand from domestic and other, industrial sector. So at present, where the 90% water is consumed in agriculture, in fact in future there will be like 30 to 40% or even the 50% water will be going to other sectors other than the agriculture. So we need to look at that how to enhance the water use efficiency. This is another case of river management or like river water use. If we look at the inflows or like outflow going to the sea, this was the case of the 1901 to 60 case. This much of water was going to the sea. Now the situation in 2000 and 2004. So we can say that almost whatever the water we had in the river basin, it is almost harvested. So there is no much water left out for further harvest. This is the situation for the different important river basins in India. Red color shows the scarcity and the number of months. Number shows the number of months. So it shows that most of the river basins having more than 4 to 5 months and more than more water scarcity in different river basins. Look at the groundwater use status in India. So we have almost altogether 142 million hectare area. In that rainfed area is almost of 55 to 60% and irrigated area is 35 to 40%. In that surface water irrigated area is 21 million hectare and then groundwater irrigated area is 27 million hectare. In 1960s, it is estimated that withdrawal was like 25 billion cubic meter, which has increased to nearly 300 billion cubic meter at present. And then earlier there was 1960s, it was nearly 1 million bore wells, and now it has increased to 20 million bore wells. So it doesn't mean that situation is very. This slide shows that there is an over exploitation of the groundwater resources, and it shows that it is required to have a replenishment of the groundwater resources, because now this slide shows the reason for the low water use efficiency. We have shown in fact, if we look at the definition of the water use efficiency, it is a input versus output, like how much is water available with us and how much is we utilized. So if we look at the rainfed system, in general, the water use efficiency is almost 40 to 50%, and then irrigated system, it is even less than 30%. So what are the different reasons? So main reasons are the single cropping system in the rainfed system, and then other thing is the low inputs actually in rainfed system. Other than that, there are huge areas are having the fallow lands despite having good rainfall, or like more than 800 millimeter rainfall. Even farmers are even have a perception that they only can take one crop rather than they can take two crops safely. In irrigated system, there is a flood irrigation methods predominates, and then calendar-based irrigation schedulings they follow, and then there are a number of issues like water logging and then poor institutional arrangements for their water allocations and all. These are the list this shows that it is very much possible to enhance the water use efficiency by double or maybe 3 times if we do it the crop water nutrient and agronomic management. Actually, for example, in situ interventions, mulching, and then following the drought tolerant cultivars and other things. This slide shows the status of the rice-fallow areas in southern India. This slide was taken from Murli. It shows that the nearly 22 million hectare area is rice-fallow altogether in the Asia. In that, nearly 20 million hectare is within the India itself. And then nearly 12 million, 11.7 million hectare is under the rainfed area, and then 8 million hectare is nearly in irrigated areas. So farmers in this land generally take the first crop as a paddy crop, and then they leave the land fallow in the Rabi season, post-monsoon season, which they have the huge soil moisture, and then they safely can take the one crop easily, like a chickpea crop. We have worked out the water use efficiency and from our Tata projects, and then this is an example showing that, for example, a Jharkhand kind of area where 1100 millimeter rainfall is there. In that 950 rain happens in monsoon and 150 in post-monsoon period. Runoff generates nearly 300 millimeter, and then in nearly 150 millimeter of the residue soil moisture left at the end of the monsoon. And then if you look at the crop water requirement for chickpea, it is nearly 250 millimeter or to 300 millimeter. And then with the residue soil moisture and then supplemental rains, it is possible to have to meet 80% crop water requirement of chickpea. So in this system, in second system, if we promote the chickpea as with residue management, then it is possible that it is possible to have two crops, and then with the first crop with the paddy, and then possibly short duration paddy, and second crop of 700 to 1000 kg per hectare yield can be easily get it, and then with the net return of 40,000 to 50,000 compared to 25,000 to 30,000 in the traditional system. Similarly, like rainy seasons fallows are there in the Madhya Pradesh. Nearly 2 million hectare area predominates in the Madhya Pradesh. In that because of vertisol, black vertisols, farmers are not able to cultivate crop in the Kharif season because of the stickiness of the soil. And then if the landform management and their situation, field situation is like that, because of the flooding and all, they cannot do it, cropping in monsoon period. But if they do the broadbed and furrow practices and other land management practices, it is very much possible to take one Kharif crop, like for example, soybean crop in monsoon period, and safely they can take a second crop like a wheat in second season, whereas the water use efficiency can be improved from 40% to 78% in improved system. Similarly, like in other projects, in number of projects, we have worked it out that the 30 to 40% yield increase is possible by different land and water management, nutrient management practices, and these are the big list. I am not going to say in detail. And then further, we were talking about the we were talking about the rainfed area. So huge opportunities are there to work on the in rainfed system to enhance the water use efficiency. Similarly, for water use efficiency in irrigated system in fact is very less, or less than 30% in altogether. And main reasons are that the drainage systems are not good. It can be improved by the land levelings, and then micro irrigation systems, and it can be controlled by controlling the seepage and other losses. And then main important thing what I am focusing here, the need-based irrigation application in which we are working more focusedly. In the last 4 to 5 years, we have developed a simple Excel-based decision support system. We say water impact calculator, and then purpose is to promote need-based irrigation applications, not the calendar-based irrigation application. In this calculator, we only have to provide very minimal data, like what is the date of sowing, and then what type of crop we are growing, and then length of what is the length of the crop. So very basic minimum information if we provide, and background other informations like evaporative demands and other meteorological information if we provide. The model calculates all the irrigation scheduling, and it provides the date-wise irrigation amount, how much we should apply. And then we have developed it for the field crops, vegetable crops, and horticulture crops. We have validated this model in number of places in different rainfall and soil ecological regions, for example in Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Telangana, Karnataka, and we have found that the more than nearly 20 to 30% irrigation water without compromising crop yield can be saved, and then it can save minimum 2 irrigation, and then cost of cultivation has reduced from 1,500 to 2,000 rupees per hectare. And these are some of the cases we have demonstrated, and we found that this model is working very well. There was challenge that how to promote or how to scale up to the millions of farmers. So that we took another first step that if we make an irrigation calendar for important, for example, horticulture crops, like where the perennial irrigation is needed, like a coconut or areca nut, because in summer month it is not dependent on rainfall. Farmers generally apply the irrigation water through drip irrigation or flood irrigations. So if we provide if we calculate the weekly basis water requirement and we distribute the card to them, probably it can save the 20 to 30% water. Still we are on the pilot phase, and then we are promoting in Bhu Samruddhi and Right to Kosam projects. And then huge demand and then is coming. More than 300 officers we have already trained in Karnataka in last year. So this is what I just wanted to share with you.
Okay, I think we're right on time. We have 5 minutes of clarification, discussion, questions. Yes, please.
It's not really a question. I think one thing which I want to mention, I think the water scarcity issue is not going to go away. Even if we get one good rainfall year, we might get a relief. And why we have not been feeling the pinch of the water scarcity is primarily because of the groundwater. We have overexploited the groundwater, which was recharged 100 years or more. And if you take Hyderabad and this situation, it's really very grim situation. India, last 15 years, has been the biggest exploiter of groundwater in the world. We have crossed US, China, everybody. So there is a real issue, and I just said because we have not been feeling heat because of the exploitation of groundwater, that part we have taken out. I think scientists, politicians, everybody has to work together really if we want to find out solution. Otherwise, I think to me this is the starting of the water scarcity, and I think the party will go on if we don't change on that. I just wanted to add.
Kaushal, very good, very good. Very interested in your irrigation DSS. I know of almost no example in the world where a model-based irrigation schedule has worked, meaning that farmers have adopted. So I'm not saying it can't happen here, but I think we have to learn about the incentives for adoption. Given the background of 30 years of research organisations around the world trying to implement these tools without success. Go to irrigation programs around the world, they use a measurement approach. They'll measure soil water, but not necessarily try to use a irrigation DSS. So I'm keen to work with you and others to look, well, why would it work here in India, and how we're going to make it work. India has particular comparative advantage, particularly through the support of government. So my question to you is, what's the incentive for farmers to adopt it if it's only saving water and water is cheap? What's the incentive for adoption?
So water is not cheap now, actually, because farmers are paying for a huge amount of water, because if they run the diesel engine, So if they even save the one irrigation, it is a saving of 1,000 rupees or 1,500 rupees. Water became very scarce, and then they are pumping water from the 1,000 feet down actually. So it is nowhere cheap now.
Thank you, Kaushal. Very interesting and also gives hope because it shows that there are a lot of technologies and approaches available which can contribute to at least mitigating the problems we are facing at the moment. I want to come back to your very first slide where you showed the different types of scarcity. And I wanted to ask to which extent is a regional program addressing the institutional scarcity dimension?
I would chip in for that, for his help. Institutional things, particularly in the irrigated areas, are the one which need to be addressed. And as we have seen the Water Users Association, and in fact in Andhra Pradesh they were formed 15 years back, but they went defunct because of the collection charges and other things. No institutional support was provided. Now again the government is proposing and encouraging them to become active so that they take over the things. Another issue which we are handling in Andhra Pradesh now along with that is the farmers producers organizations. So they themselves control the resource in that particular region so that they can do that. In the rain-fed areas, basically that is the water users group, that for each of the structures what we create, there is a social institutional pressure that no one will pump out the water from the rainwater harvesting tanks, so that all the water goes into the ground, so that there are no conflicts in the village as such, because generally powerful people will pump out more water. And the second thing is that the users group who get the benefit, they take care of the maintenance and all that. And that's where basically the institutional arrangements in rain-fed and irrigated areas are looked at.
May I quickly follow up on this? I just thank you, Suhas, for the explanation. And yes, I see the same point. I just wanted to highlight in this forum that the MIND team is trying to develop methodologies to support the processes you have been describing, and we are very much happy to collaborate with the regional program.
Much.
Thank you.